Hello and welcome back, guys. You're hanging out with me, Brothgar, and today I've got another product review for you. Today I'm going to be looking at the J&L-100 wireless earphones right here. So let's go ahead and break down its build quality, sound quality, and its comfort for you. So first and foremost, what are you going to get in the box? Well, obviously you're going to get your earbuds right here. So those come inside the box. You're also going to get an assortment of little earbud sizes and the kind of ear hooks that will then allow you to adjust your earbuds so that they actually fit your head. You're also going to get a little USB power cable so you can actually recharge your device. It doesn't take long to charge up. You can just plug it into whatever power outlet and go. And then you can also have a little carrying bag if you want to, throw your earbuds inside of something else so it doesn't get lost in all your clothes or whatever else you sort of need, just to get a little carrying bag if you need it. So let's start off here with comfort and the adjustability as far as these things go. For me, this works out when I put the smallest earbud here and then just kind of leave it on the medium, the default ones that it comes with, sort of ear hooks. Now, as far as my ears go or whatever it is, I'm not just sure if it's me, but earbuds, for example, these ones right here that came with my Samsung phone, just never work for me. The earbuds never stay in my ears. It's just absolutely annoying. I can never get them to work. If I can, I usually get these earbuds inside my ear and then I'll end up using some sort of little hook thing so that I can keep it right here and the cables don't pull it out. Luckily though, these actually fit quite a bit better. And how they work is you put them inside your ear, like so. Let me go ahead and show you here. So I'll just put this in here like I'm normally going to be installing it. And then this little hook bit right here will actually catch in that ridge that's kind of inside your ear right there. You can feel it, and it kind of just rubber bit goes up in there and kind of wedges it and forces the tip of your earbud into your ear canal. Sounds weird, but it works. Anyhow, let me go ahead and put it in for you. So just like normal, and there you have it. So just kind of to prove that it does actually stay in place, here it is inside my ear. The other earbud is just dangling from the cord, and I'm moving all over the place, jumping up and down. It's not falling out. So proof in the result right there. This system actually does work. So let me go ahead and throw it in my other ear as well, just like so. And boom, there you go. So that is how, how it installs right there. Now you can kind of see how it looks. It looks kind of interesting. These things are not the smallest things in the world. They're definitely not as low profile as something that like your standard earbuds that you would have that have just the little jack on them. They have a battery in there, and they also have kind of the buttons on top. You're going to have a button to start and stop your play or to answer your phone or whatever you got that's going on. If you get a message, you can actually press the button on top of this one over here. Not to mention you got volume up and down. So all your microphone and everything that's like mechanically that's controlled is going to be actually on your right ear right there. So like I said right there, it has a microphone. It does work. You have a little button in case, for me, like when I'm listening to Audible and I got my audiobook going on, if I want to pause it since somebody's talking to me, you just press the button once to do that. Or if a phone call comes in, you just press the button to answer it. Anyhow, that works out pretty good, pretty convenient right there. And to be honest, it's very functional. But as far as comfort goes, I feel like these are somewhat comfortable. The fact that they actually kind of wedge themselves up into my ear is somewhat comfortable. After a little bit of time, I would say right around an hour or so, I kind of noticed that this pressure kind of up there inside of my ear to kind of keep it all in place does kind of start to wear on me a little bit. I do start to notice that the earbuds are there. It's not like there's a compromise, right? It's held in place, but at the same time, you notice that it's there, and it can tell that sometimes it makes my ear a little bit sore. But then again, I've started to get used to it, so it's not such a big deal anymore. But I would say the first couple of times, it was definitely noticeable, and I would say that it was not comfortable. Now, the other part of this that is kind of annoying to me is the fact that this cable, don't get me wrong, it's nice that it's kind of this flat cable, but it's kind of stiff as well. And this cable tends to kind of drape over your shoulders back here. Now, when you move your head around like this, that cable tends to kind of rub on something right there, and that will actually translate sound and the feeling of it actually moving around right back into your ear. And since these are really kind of pushed into your ear quite a bit, you do end up sort of hearing that quite a bit. So that can be a little bit annoying. Luckily, though, they do have a little device that came with it, just a little latch doodad, and you throw it on the cable like this so you can adjust how big this loop is and kind of reduce the actual loop right here so that it rides up a little bit higher on the back of your neck. For me though, this was only an okay solution. What I actually like to do is take this thing and then take my cables and just sort of wrap it up and then tape it into a little sort of ball. So that way it ends up like this. So I've got my earbuds right here and the remainder of the cable is just kind of bound up. This way, when I actually put it in, that cable rides quite a bit higher, so when I move my head around, I don't get that same sort of rubbing noise that you get from the cable moving across your shoulder. Anyhow though, fairly comfortable. It works out for the amount of time I need to do it, and once you kind of modify the cable right there, you kind of solve that one cable noise problem that is always happens either with these or with this or whatever. It's just one trick to kind of get rid of it, just like the clip thing. So now that we've covered at least the comfort and sort of the functionality of how you put it on and whatnot, let's look at the back of the specifications here and get into certain things like the build quality and or the sound quality as well. So anyhow, it is Bluetooth 4.0 right there. It is also sweat resistant, at least that's what they're advertising. And I would say yes, it is sweat resistant. I've sweated quite a bit with these and they didn't seem to phase them at all. Hands-free Bluetooth wireless to answer the call. Yes, that's a button I was talking about. The CVC 6.0, I don't know what that is. The driver seems to be 10 millimeters, it looks like, with 13 ohms, 3 milliwatts, 2 output. More or less, I don't really, that's hard to really justify right there, but the full range of sound profile with crisp highs and powerful lows. Okay, now I did do a heads-up comparison between these and the same sort of earbuds that came with my Samsung Galaxy J3, right? And the fidelity, the overall sound quality of something that's like analog like this was still better than what I was getting out of these Bluetooth earbuds right here. I mean, it was definitely, they were very close, but it was noticeable that these were not quite as good as the analog sound right here. However, when they're talking about crisp lows and highs, I would say that this had definitely a stronger bass sound to it, more or less because it's also doing a little bit more of the noise canceling. Now these are passive noise canceling, more or less it's like putting fingers in your ears and plugging them. So that's kind of the same sort of effect that you have with these. And you know, my standard ones were, I would say, right around 30% noise canceling. These are upwards of 50%, plugging your ears being 100%. So you could figure that one out. Anyhow though, moving on here, I would say the size, blah, 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 the capacity, 70 milliamp hours it plays from 3 to 4 hours. I would say that's about right. I probably get about 4 or 5 hours. The one thing I do though that really makes a big difference when I'm actually getting sort of the sound quality and all that stuff is I'll take my device and after I connect it Bluetooth, I turn my device up like to the max. And by turning the device up to the max, I rely a lot less on this device to crank up its volume. Not so much that it's louder, but if I were to turn this all the way up to its maximum volume and then keep my phone low, I get a little bit more white noise. So by cranking up the phone and keeping the earbuds lower, I get a lot less white noise and you can just get more crisp sound. So the sound quality is better in that regard if you use that little tip. Moving on though, standby time apparently 175 hours and the talking time is 4.5, charging time 1 to 2 hours. I would say it does actually charge up pretty quick. I never actually timed it though. So in order to charge this device, you'll see that there's a little flap here that you release on the left earbud, and then you just plug in your short little USB cable and slap it on in there. The nice thing about this is since it does charge up fast, I can go ahead and give it a little boost in my car in between like work and home. So when I'm ready to go, I can just plug it in and go, and I'll get enough time to actually listen to whatever I'm doing right there. For me, the activities that I like to use this is, since it is noise canceling, I find like doing yard work to be pretty satisfying with this. So I end up throwing these in there, especially when I'm doing something like mowing the yard. On one final talking point though, let's talk about the range. Since it is a wireless device, I get roughly right around 25 feet or so by putting it in one room and walking across my house until I start to hear the audio drop out. So that's through a wall. They advertise that it gets right around 33 feet operational range. Now, when I have my phone in my front left pocket or something like that, I really don't have any sort of audio problems. I would say though, there was one time that it was starting to cut out on me when it didn't make sense. When I was riding my riding lawnmower, whenever I had my phone like screen facing my facing inside and actually inside my pocket, it would actually cut out audio a little bit every now and then. I'm not sure if it had to do with the static electricity that kind of builds up when I'm riding my mower or whatnot, but when I threw it in my front right pocket, I didn't have that issue at all. Some people, though, are claiming that they get really poor range, but I think those are defected sort of devices. Alright, so my closing thoughts for the JL100 is, you know what, they're a very nice, convenient thing to have to use for right around an hour or so. Being able to throw on your device, you know, whatever it is, your mobile device, and connect Bluetooth-wise and not have to worry about a cable when you're working out in the yard or going for a run or working out is a very nice thing to have. Obviously, though, there's still not quite that audio experience, so you're not going to use these when you have options like headphones or something like that. They're just a nice thing to kind of get you from point A to point B if you just don't want to kind of listen to whatever else is going on around you. So when it comes to mowing grass, these are my go-to thing. You know what? And it's nice that I don't have to pay an arm and a leg for them. Anyhow, guys, those are my thoughts and opinions. If you got some questions for me, you can go ahead and leave them down there in the comment section below. And if you found this somewhat informative or you just plain liked it, maybe leave that like button on the way out. I'll see you next time, guys. Stay awesome. Peace. Brothgar out.